The Beautification, Blight, and Parks group was extremely vocal. Can everybody who was part of that large group stand up, please? Give yourself a hand for being part of that. We had lots of ideas and lots of issues, but there were three top issues. The first one was illegal dumping, which is a huge problem in a lot of the city, and it's a huge problem in West Oakland. The top solution was to have an informational campaign to help people know how to properly dispose, what's wrong with illegal dumping, etc. And there were a lot of other sub-ideas that I know I'll be taking back to the staff at the city. But the number one idea was doing an outreach campaign to tell people this is inappropriate, here's the proper way to dispose of things, and to help the community know how to handle it when it does happen. Secondly, the second topic was the topic of vacant lots and vacant houses. That was a hot topic for this group. You know, apparently there are quite a few vacant houses and vacant lots in West Oakland which are blighted, and people thought that there should be fines for not cleaning them, partnerships for use of these spaces to try to get some nonprofits in or something, and either removal of substandard buildings, or if it's an older building, people really want restoration whenever possible of these houses and buildings. And the third item was bringing back the park rangers. There were no suggestions, except the issue was bringing the lack of park rangers, and the suggestion was to bring the park rangers back. Thank you.
Reagan Harmon, with the mayor's office, we had the public safety subgroup. So Anna's going to read off our top priorities.
And there were many priorities, except we had to narrow them down. The first one is armed robbery. The second one is gang activity / injunctions. We found the need to, we wanted those, so we wanted to petition the city to tackle that. And the third one was drug dealing. That's a huge problem in our neighborhoods. But there was 12, but those were the ones that we thought were the most important in West Oakland. So.
With regards to solutions, if I can have Officer Sanchez hold this. Officer Sanchez and, I'm sorry, what's your name? Officer Garcia are our problem-solving officers for this area, so I encourage everyone to get to know these wonderful individuals, as well as Felicia Verdine and where's Annie and Sandra Saunders-West, who's in the back. They help to organize Neighborhood Watch and NCPCs. That's one of the ways to get involved, some of the ways to get involved. So with regards to solutions to armed robberies, a lot of them were happening around the BART station. So one suggestion was doing stings. One of the suggestions that Mayor Quan has was, once we find out what time these things are happening, having walking groups, realizing that police resources are limited, that walking groups of individuals can be an asset for people. Adequate street lighting. One of the other things was that people were saying that there needs to be more money to fund more officers, making BART staff more accountable and making sure they're more accountable. Online information, joining Neighborhood Watch, having smaller police substations in the area, real-time internet cameras, and again, asking BART to extend their patrol beyond the station. Again, we encourage, one of the things with regards to public safety, it's not just police, there are many ways to get involved. So again, I keep on encouraging Neighborhood Watch and Neighborhood Crime Prevention Councils, as well as your involvement in BBON. Thanks again.
Hello, I'm representing Vivian and I and the 11 other members of our environmental group. We had many issues, but we identified our top 3 priorities and we brainstormed for solutions. The first was the health impact of recycling plants. Move to West Oakland Army Base, reduce the noise and dust, designate land at Subaru lot and negotiate directly. Our second priority was having more accessible public transportation. And our solutions were having more BART stops, possibly at 98th, Jack London 51st. More buses, make them green, restore the bus routes at the Maritime West Grand. Perhaps have privately run buses on public routes. Increase carpool lanes on the 580 and 880. Lower the BART and bus fares. Have longer transfer passes. Create an eco-youth pass, and have rapid bus routes. Our third concern was about air quality and the emissions from trucks and pollution and cars and ships. We want to reroute some of the trucks from the neighborhoods, fund retrofitting for all the trucks, plant trees and maintain the existing trees. Thank you. Have more enforcement and monitoring of the environmental regulations that already exist, enhance the green infrastructure at the port, and reduce idle time and wait times at the gates of the port. Thank you.
Louis Cohen reporting on education. Education group, wave your hands. Great group, thank you. So we started out, we had quite a long list, but we narrowed it down. First, we talked quite a bit about how we could improve parent engagement, but we had a discussion, this is the education group, by the way, and but we wanted to kind of change the definition of parent engagement so that part of it was around support and accountability for parents. So we talked about that there needs to be efforts to support parents, their engagement through offering employment, particularly support for fathers to be involved in schools, and also to get them volunteering directly in schools. On the accountability side, some focus on parents of truant or chronically absent students, ways to get them more accountable for having their kids in schools. And lastly, we talked about a lot of parent engagement happens in particular schools, and it's around the needs of that neighborhood. And we thought there needs to be an effort to create a community-wide perspective around how parents are involved with all our schools, not just the school in their particular neighborhood. Moving out from that, we focus on creating quality community schools, and we didn't get as deep into this one as we would like, but some of the things we thought needed work on was more inclusion of life skills in the curriculum for our schools, and also we talked about the notion of a conference to bring together the service providers at schools with the folks that they service so that we can really have a discussion about our needs. Are the services provided really meeting the needs of these school communities? But then our big one was really about how are we promoting collaboration to solve community problems and support schools. And we focused in on that the housing authority and affordable housing are places that the city should be working with around how they're involved and supporting our schools. This would involve sharing data and also promoting some leadership programs in the housing authority. And then we also said we really need to figure out how the city could get behind the school district's initiative to support African American males in the schools, and that would be a good place where the city's work would support what the school district has already started. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Church with Human Services, and we did the housing and homelessness discussion. We thought it was interesting that the Public Works group and Blight group focused on abandoned housing from the point of view of blight. We also talked about abandoned housing from the point of view of maybe the community can get involved in sweat equity projects. Maybe the community can rehab these projects and turn them back over to the community for affordable housing. Sharon Greenpeace is a resident of the Hoover District, and she's going to talk about our 3 priorities, top priorities.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Greenpeace, and we talked about housing and the homelessness and the abandoned houses that are here in Oakland. We were concerned, our top 3 concerns are the abandoned houses and what a resident can do to bring these houses up to standard to allow other residents to move in. Whether we do sweat equity help or however we get the houses back in a livable condition. We also focus on the homeless kids, and there need to be more facilities where the kids can go that they can live in above standard living capacities. Right now, they're living on the street. They may wind up on your porch or your backyard, but it's a lot of homeless kids out here. Our third one was we also talked about redeveloping and making the houses more affordable, maybe allowing a area like Broadway, Valdez throughout Oakland, and let's concentrate on what is needed here. Our other concerns were there are a lot of homeless veterans who have served our country, and right now they're living on the street. They have nowhere to go, and perhaps we can either build a building or have a drop-in service for them. Our other concern was to have, for the homeless people, to have a drop-in place where they can come and take a bath, change their clothes, get their mail, and perhaps pick up their prescription. Maybe a social worker or someone can be there in that facility. But all this is needed in the city of Oakland. Thank you.